Hello. Good to see you all. Oh crap. Let me go grab my glasses because I did not do that and I'm going to be blind and that's not good. We don't want me to not see what I'm saying or doing. One second. Rather, we don't want me to not see comments. So one sec. And my glasses are very close in a little pink velvet case. I didn't pick it. It came with a pair of glasses that I have, and I like it. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Grumpy. Hi, Juju. Hi, Balthazar. Hi, Bommy. Hi, Brian. Hi, Ian. Did I say hello? Hi, Ian. Hi, Helmar. Hi, Sam. Hi, Grumps. Hi, Tara. Hi, Super Hornet. Hi, Odin. And hi, Scotty B. Hello, everyone. I am in Lviv at Anastasia's apartment. The light, this is like the only light that I have that isn't like one of those really like, crappy tiny little lights that don't give me any light. This one is literally like Jesus is coming down to earth. But, I guess that's better than no light. So we're going to be dealing with that. Though, like, oh my God, I'm looking at the screen and at how lit I am. And that is a lot, I'll tell you. But, it is what it is. Anyways, hi. Also, it's like right above me, so I'm like a bit visually overstimulated from like it being right here and from seeing myself so pale. But yes, hello. Also, for those of you on YouTube, the sound today is going to be incredibly freaking crappy, and so is going to be the video because I do not have my neither my camera nor my mic with me. I did that last time and then I didn't have any time to go live and I had to carry all of that weight with me everywhere I went, and I was like, no, we're not doing this time, especially because like I bought last minute tickets and I was traveling in a really, really crappy way. I also right now there are no tickets back and I have to monitor them every hour to see if someone like surrenders their ticket so I can buy it. So right now I have to be back on Monday in the morning and I have no ticket back. This is not domestic violence. This is the result of me banging myself by accident into the door. I consistently look like someone who is like going through some stuff, but but I bruise very easily. And I've had like so many people ask me about this today, including my father, and I'm like, dude, I consistently walk into things. I'm ADHD AF, and that's a normal thing. I forget that I have a dresser somewhere, or I forget that there is a door in my way. So quick little funny thing that happened today. So I took a speed train from Kyiv to Lviv. Hi, Diane. I took a speed train from Kyiv to Lviv, and usually they're like the seater type trains because we have sleeper trains in Ukraine. But so this train is a sleeper train, so it has like bunk beds, right? And it's been converted into a seater train. So essentially, instead of buying the upper bunk or the lower bunk, you were just sharing the lower bunk with another person. And it was a weird arrangement, but it kind of like worked out for me because I was with Cine and there was only one seat available and the bunks are longer than your average seat. So Cine was like, Cine had space. And there was this lady with me and Cine sharing the bottom bunk with me and Cine. And she like really loved Cine. So she like kept petting her the entire time. And it was like a 6-hour trip. And at some point I got really tired and I climbed up to the top bunk to sleep there. And I was like, I can take the dog with me or you can keep her if you'd like. And she was like, no, can I keep petting her? So after like 2 hours, I wake up, I look down and Cine and this woman are both asleep cuddling. And I thought it was the funniest freaking thing. I also have a picture, but obviously it's on the phone from which I'm talking to you on TikTok, so I can't show it to you. But I thought it was like the most hilarious thing on the planet. Then like right at the end of and I left like a bag of treats on the table downstairs. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll give her some treats, you know? And so I wake up and this lady is like, how many treats do you give her a day? And I'm like, I don't know, maximum 5 on a good day. And she goes, oh. So I look at the treat bag and half of it is gone. And it's like beef lung treats. So that is a lot. That's like more. She gave her more treats than Sydney's average dinner. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, Sydney probably calmed her. Yeah. So on YouTube, we already have some comments about Kursk because that's my thumbnail for the live, and we're gonna go into it for a sec. So the first comment that caught my attention is, this is a PR hype stunt. Zelensky won't send in fresh divisions to reinforce the men that went in, replace the losses. So Russia is not reinforced inside of Russia at all. Like they don't reinforce it. So Ukraine was able to make a huge breakthrough, and you are entirely wrong, because Ukraine is going to keep going, and this is how Ukraine is going to be forcing Russia into the negotiation table. Because if Ukraine continues to keep going, which right now seems like a very plausible scenario, Russia is going to be cut off, and Russian men in Ukraine are going to be encircled, which means that Russia is going to be forced to negotiate with Ukraine, because otherwise their troops just have to surrender and walk out, because they are in fact encircled from both sides. Right now, they're in a technical encirclement. Also, Ukraine is about to take Kursk NPP. And also, Ukraine has literally taken the oil and gas router that routes oil and gas into Western Europe, which includes Hungary and Slovakia, the two countries that have been blackmailing the EU and vetoing any type of aid to Ukraine. So unless you have, here's the thing, unless you have actual knowledge and actual like fact-based logical reasoning to back up what you are saying, don't say things, because it sounds a little silly. And I've never seen you before, but as you will find out on this channel, I do not tolerate bullshit, and I'm not, and like, you know, I don't say things, nor do I put things into my thumbnails for clickbait purposes, because everything I say, I back up with knowledge. So I do appreciate this little condescending little, how do I call this, condescending little verbal diarrhea. Anyways, the gas can be rerouted. Yeah, what are you going to do with Russian troops that are stuck in Ukraine now in a fucking encirclement? What are you going to do with that? You're going to reroute them too? What are you going to do about the Kursk NPP? Because that could be exchanged for Zaporizhia NPP, and that's a really good bargaining chip. And last time this happened was with Napoleon, and he was cut off from France. So, what you gonna say to that? What you gonna do about that? Also, again, next time you say something so radically, maybe back it up with real information other than just your personal disdain for the situation and your personal disbelief in the situation based on ignorance. I was trying to figure out what the idea is behind taking orc territory can be a good trade. Well, the idea is basically, right, it's like the way that Russia has sort of like dug into the positions they have been in for the past year, and especially for the past 10 years, right? It's really hard to smoke them out of there. So Ukraine needed something different in order to shake up the situation right now. So that's something different, and that's actually a brilliant plan, because no one has expected that. One of the things that we have on Russia is that we expect most of the things they do. What they don't have on us is that they don't expect things that we do, and they did not expect this for sure. Is Putler going to trade Crimea for 10 kilometers from the raid? First of all, it's not 10 kilometers. It's a lot more than that. Second of all, again, what Ukraine has taken so far and the capacity that Ukraine has to keep going deeper into Russia is enormous, because Russia is not reinforced inside of Russia, which is why it's easier to take territory there than take back the territory that Russia has taken from Ukraine. Yes, he's going to trade occupied Ukrainian lands at the negotiations table for the fucking occupied lands in Russia. No, we're not saying that he's going to trade Crimea, because you are going into the extremes. We are talking about trading occupied land in Donetsk, Luhansk, and Zaporizhia. If Zelensky doesn't send in fresh divisions, you can forget about a massive push to Kursk and past Kursk. Well, there is 1,000 new men on the way there. So, like, I don't understand where your super radical statements are coming from, as if, like, you know exactly what's happening, provided that there is operational security all around it, and we are operating based on, like, ISW knowledge and knowledge of the men firsthand that are at that front line. How are you saying these, like, radical things, saying Zelensky is not going to send more troops? First of all, there is literally information that he is sending 1,000 more troops. Second, how do you know he's not going to be sending troops? Like, how do you know that? Because no one seems to know what the fuck is going on, because there's major operational security around this operation since it started. You, however, seem to be a couch military expert who knows absolutely everything is going on, right? And nothing that you're saying is backed by any evidence, information, or facts that have been made public, other than you being like, if he doesn't send more men, do you know what he's going to do? Also, like, why are we putting this on Zelensky? He's not the commander-in-chief of the military. The commander-in-chief of the military is Syrsky. Like, do we just say Zelensky for everything that happens in this country? Like, why is it Zelensky at the helm of the military right now, if military strategy and these types of operations are being thought through and conceived through Syrsky, who is commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian troops? Just like FYI, if you didn't know that. Anyways, yeah, I'm very proud of those guys too. Also, so for those of you who haven't seen me in a while, I have now turned 30 years old 2 days ago on August 7th. Today is the 9th. I feel the need to keep saying that because, you know, it's not like I have a problem with like the number 30. Okay, this is the last time I'm going to respond to this person because they bother the shit out of me. But here is another brilliant take. The orcs are organizing to push back. The time is key. If they wait, they won't be able to take the city of Kursk. That's a key junction. What part of their sending in 1,000 more men did you not understand? What part of they're still moving forward did you not understand? And what part of Russia is not fucking reinforced? Their air defense is not working, and they legitimately do not have men stationed on any fucking positions. By the time that their troops in reserve are going to come from Siberia, Ukraine is going to have made more moves. That's one. And two, again, you're operating on this knowledge that Ukraine doesn't know this. Like, I can assure you that people who are working on this operation are much smarter, much more knowledgeable, and much more aware of everything that's going on in and around Kursk than you are. I don't know what's going to happen, and neither do you. But I am not saying that Ukraine is going to do XYZ. I'm saying that these moves seem like they're done for this, and that reason. And it's incredibly frustrating that you keep saying these things as if they're facts, like Ukraine is waiting. Zelensky is not sending men, provided that we legitimately have some of the most unobscure OPSEC around this operation, and the Ukrainian government is not giving us anything specifically for that reason. So you sitting here and analyzing this super secret operation from your couch and saying that they're not doing this, and that, or if they don't do this, or that, they're not going to get it. Sure, but you are saying it as if you know they're not going to do that, but also there is already information that that contradicts what you're saying, and I'm not sure why you're so gung-ho and so like convinced that you need to be saying that. Anyways, this is the last time I've responded to you, because it literally seems like you are just dismissing everything I'm saying and continuing in your little tirade of, you know, the Ukrainian military doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, but I do. So, you know, I mean, by I mean you here. So I'm just going to like go ahead and, you know, and ignore your presence. The clock is ticking. Yeah, the clock is ticking for you to be kicked out of this live as well. Now, what about F-16s? F-16s are here. I mean, they're really great for Kharkiv air defense, and they have been used for that matter for a while now. Anyways, so someone said that they really like my cross, the jewelry. So this is from a Ukrainian brand, and I've acquired it on my birthday. My friend owns this brand called Lutiki, and Lutiki is a specific type of flower. I mean, it is like a Russian word for that flower, because she is from Donetsk, and this is how she used to say it when she founded the brand. But the brand is basically this. It's honestly fantastic, because she takes on Ukrainian traditional elements and also like picks out a lot of like old school Ukrainian stuff and incorporates it into her jewelry. So this is bog oak, which is very prevalent in Ukraine, and it's like one of our local types of wood here. And this cross is apparently a cross from Poltava region, and this is like a specific, very like old school type of cross that is typical for Poltava. So I really like these two together, because if you can see, these are also crosses, and I think that this is like very beautiful as a, you know, as a combination. And I've been wanting these for a while. She has also gifted me, her brand sort of has so it's mostly jewelry, but she also has these like little pouches, and she gifted me this one, and it fits both of my phones, my wallet, and like a bunch of other stuff, which I find so cool, because this is one of my favorite birthday presents, which also almost like the only birthday present. I haven't gotten any presents from my parents yet, and I haven't really gotten like any presents. Well, I got two for my birthday. Oh, actually 3, because I saw my childhood friend today, and I'll show you what she gave me, which is also Ukrainian, and it's a piece of art from a famous Ukrainian. He does mosaic. He does. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, this is that same brand, and it's like a tiny little pouch that I've been wearing as a bag, because it is, and I think her brand is fantastic, and she does like amazing stuff. So I'm going to write the name of the brand here in YouTube chat so you can check it out. And I'll ask Kat to write Lutiki, Lutiki in on TikTok. So if someone wants to check out it out in on TikTok through like Instagram or their website, please do. They have beautiful jewelry, and it's I mean, if you're American, it's very affordable. Yes, they're on Instagram. Thank you, Ohms, and thank you so much for $10. I really, really, really do appreciate that. And so this is a second gift that I received today. So it's from this artist who had this mural, like a mosaic mural of like fishes that was destroyed somewhere eastbound during the full-scale invasion, and it was a very big deal because it was part of like Ukrainian art heritage. So Yulia's mom is an artist, and she's a professor of art in a Ukrainian in one of the art colleges, like one of the best art colleges in Lviv. And so she gifted me this today, and I love it. First of all, I love black and white art, and that's like most of my art in my walls in New York is black and white, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with my art in Kyiv too. but I have a very hard time finding art that isn't like posters on the internet, you know? So she gifted me this, and she was like, oh, I saw pictures of Yulia staying in your apartment, and I saw that it was like very neutral, so I figured this would be the kind of thing you would like. And it's amazing. It's so nice, and I am like so incredibly like happy with it, because she just guessed it so on point, because that's I've been looking for something to put on my wall in my bedroom that is black and white and is kind of that style of art. So I'm so like impressed with this gift, and I'm so happy. I mean, I would be happy with any gift really, because it's just so nice, but it's just, this is so on point. And I haven't seen her mom in like 13 years more probably. So it's just kind of crazy that she like guessed it that way. So that's really awesome. Thoughts on Ukrainian athletes refusing to shake hands with Russians. Why would we shake hands with Russians? Why would Ukrainian athletes ever shake hands with Russians? Russians should be competing at the Olympics or any sporting events to begin with, because they are not most of them are literally members of the Russian army. Most of them publicly support the invasion, yet are still allowed to compete under neutral flags, which require you to not support the invasion and denounce it. So, you know, Russian athletes shouldn't be competing to begin with. And Russian athletes are not just athletes, they're Russians that pay taxes in Russia, and Russians that support the regime. So yeah, Ukrainian athletes should not be shaking hands with Russian athletes. I completely support that. But yes, so before we actually get into the news and talk more about the incursion of Kursk and what that means, without the annoying, troll gentleman that was trying to piss me off right there. So it was my birthday 2 days ago. I keep talking about it because technically this entire weekend is going to be about my birthday. This is the first time in 9 years that I was able to celebrate my birthday at home. Actually, maybe even more than that. But I haven't seen my family or been near my family for any of my birthdays. So while I was in Kyiv, not in Lviv, on the day of my birthday, it was very sweet and very nice because, like, you know, my mom sent me flowers, my dad sent me flowers, my friends sent me sweets. And it's like, I normally don't get that. Like, I will see my friends in New York. And, you know, we'll go for dinner or something, or Anastasia will visit me and we'll go travel for my birthday. But like, this one really seemed very special. I don't necessarily get like, and like, people take birthdays here very seriously. Like, a lot of my friends like messaged me and were like, what's your address? I want to send you something. And they ended up sending me like flower deliveries, or, you know, like deliveries of sweets or something like that. And it was genuinely super, super nice. So first of all, I had so many sweets in my fridge. Like, it was ludicrous, and they were all from such nice like bakeries and such nice places. I would never have found them myself, and it was just so nice. And I get to see my family this weekend, and I get to celebrate with my dad's side of family and my mom's side of family. Where I'm going to lunch with my mom's tomorrow and dinner with my dad's tomorrow, which is like super sweet. I haven't received my gifts on the day of my birthday, but I will, I guess, tomorrow. And I'm just really so, as I said earlier, I need a laptop bag, and I really like this one bag that is so out of my price range. So I really hope that maybe post my birthday presents I'll be able to afford that. I've never in my life needed a laptop bag. I wear like literally this size stuff or a little larger, because I always worked from home. So I legitimately never needed a bag that would fit my laptop or anything like that. And this is the first time in my life that I actually go to the studio with my own like makeup bag, because I need that for hair and makeup, because you need that for recording, because otherwise, like, it does. Anyways, there's like a very specific protocol of how makeup needs to be done for camera work. And I also bring my laptop with me, and I will be like, and I have these canvas bags. And at this point, like, I've like, because my laptop is heavy, and I also I have like some metal bits on my laptop for a reason, and also like all this makeup and stuff, none of it like ever fits everything I need. And also like the this, not the strips, what are the handles are like coming off. So anyways, I just fucking need a nice normal like work bag, and I've never in my life ever needed a big bag before, nor did I ever want one. So I'm just excited. This is like the first in my life where I'm like, ooh, I need a work bag. So that's something that I'm hoping to get for myself this time around. Do you know any good Ukrainian eats in NYC? Yes, Stricha. Stricha is a Ukrainian restaurant. There is also a new one that's called Chata or something that opened after I left. There are not that many Ukrainian restaurants in New York, to be honest, and I'm really hoping that more are going to open. There was a really amazing one, and it was called Slava, but it only survived less than a year. But to be fair, it was really big, and it was an odd location, and I wish that they have like put it in something that was more prominent and that was easier to notice and stuff like that. So is Lviv expensive these days? I don't really know. I mean, I guess, yes. I think it's one of the most expensive cities in Ukraine right now, but I can't really tell you price-wise because I don't live here. The new brief show on the gays is really good, Yulia. Oh, amazing. It's actually going to come out 3 times a week starting next week. It's just that these it's sort of like these intro weeks, we were trying to figure out a system. So it's going to get much better and much more consistent starting this coming week. What parts of NYC have Ukrainian influence? The East Village is literally used to be called the Ukrainian Village. There is a Ukrainian school, a bunch of Ukrainian stores. There is Uzhhorod right now is the most expensive city in Ukraine rent-wise. I said Lviv is one of the most expensive cities. But yeah, so what parts of yeah, you also can find like some grocery stores that sell a lot of Ukrainian stuff in there. It's a-okay, and I'm sure that now with the separation of Russia and Ukraine, finally, in terms of like people's understanding of these countries, I think that more Ukrainian grocery stores are going to be showing up and stuff like that. So that should be nice. Oh my God. Aw, thank you, Odin. Thank you for the birthday contribution with many caps lock happy birthdays. It's a very, very sweet, and I really appreciate it. That's wonderful to hear. Yeah, I really hope so. Why I can't do the post? What do you mean? She's 29 years old and 367 days. Okay, so here is the thing. I was joking, and I'm not really joking. So yeah, I turned 30, and here's the thing. I'm not like upset about the number. I'm not scared of 30 by any means. I don't have that like type of thing. I joke about it because I think it's funny. Most people do. You know, most women actually talk about turning 30 as it's like something, you know, because we've been like we've been taught by the society to think of it that way. I don't think of 30 as anything bad. I'm actually excited for the new decade. But what does like drive me crazy is like the understanding of how long I've been on this planet and how fast the time has flown, because I swear, I think I graduated college 2 years ago. I didn't. But like, it just seems like, you know, time flew by so fast. But it also might be because of COVID and the invasion, because sort of like my life just kind of focused on like certain things, and, you know, like time flew by faster. Thank you. And so that's what it sort of I think that's what it is. And it's just wild to think about how, you know, how fast the time has sort of flown and how long it's been since I was born. I turned 60 on Monday. Oh, congratulations. Happy belated. You just don't identify with 30, me neither. Oh, screw you, Nick. you little thing. Well, but I have been joking that I have turned 29 again. And so I'm going to be 29 for the next 10 years until I turn 40. Then we can celebrate my 30th birthday. That's what it's going to be. Thank you, $1 Million Trader. Thank you very much. But yeah, so that's sort of where we're at. Of course, here's the thing. I always feel very weird asking people to subscribe to my channel to support me and stuff like that, because this is a large part of how I pay my bills. I don't make money off of videos, neither on YouTube nor on TikTok. I mean, it's not right to say I don't make money off of videos, because I do like make 19 cents off of each video or each live. Or something like that, but that's not, like most of the income that I have is through live subscriptions on TikTok and channel memberships on YouTube and Patreon. And it is very, very helpful. So if you guys are able to and would like to and can contribute and can subscribe to the YouTube live YouTube membership feature or TikTok live subscription or Patreon, or you would like to contribute to my birthday, I will obviously not say no to that, and I will be incredibly grateful, though I don't want to like put it out there as if it's like, a demand or something like that, because of course it's not. However, it does help me a lot, and it does go very far, and I am very, very grateful to those of you who subscribe and those of you who share and those of you who watch, because all of that at the end of the day ends up being engagement that pushes these videos further, and more people get to see information about Ukraine, and in this case, information about my birthday. So anyways, this has taken up a very large chunk of time already. So because I haven't done a live in quite a bit, I think what I would like to do is I would like to sort of do a Q&A today, but not like a personal Q&A, but I'm sure that you guys have a lot of questions that you want answered in terms of like things that are happening around Ukraine. So why don't we do that? And from there we will be covering some news. Yulia giving off vampire energy after saying what she said before. In what way? So I have here news starting August 8th, but because things have been moving so fast, it's hard to sort of just kind of like go over these past 48 or 24 hours. So I think I would much rather answer questions, and I think I would much rather much rather go about it that way. Oh, also, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Let me see something. Let me see Vanya's fundraiser. So yesterday, I posted on Instagram that my friend Vanya's fundraiser is about $750 short for FPV drones, and he's almost done. He's almost done fundraising for it. And then Nastya, one of my mods and a friend, she's a Ukrainian in Canada. From her and her sister, she sent $300 to my PayPal, and I forwarded it to Vanya. So that's almost like, it's a very, very, it's a big chunk of that. Also, Jin, so he's on Twitter, so you guys probably don't know him, but he sent 100 a little while ago too. And that's a large chunk of that too. Oh yeah, I think, okay, so Vanya's jar. Yeah, I think Vanya closed the jar, which is really cool. Okay, so yeah, fantastic. I will be starting a new fundraiser sometime this week, and it's going to be a bit of a different format than usual. I mean, you can still send money to my PayPal if that's easier for you, but I'm going to have, so I'm going to partner up with this charity called Ziga's Paw. And they are going to create a personalized link for me where you can go and donate straight to their charity. And there is also like a little roadmap of where specifically your money is going. And it's going to be, the fundraiser is going to be for Starlinks. And each person that's engaged in these fundraisers can choose how many Starlinks they would like to fundraise for. So I figured out that we could do 8. So one Starlink is $250, so that will be $2,000 total. And because this time, I just, I think it's going to be easier to have one link that's provided through the charity, and the money goes straight to them without me being a mediator. So that's the link. That I'm going to be using for that fundraiser, and I don't know when I'm going to start it, but sometime next week. So also, have you thought about another trip closer to the front? Yes, I will likely be going to Kharkiv to meet like a friend of mine who has been there. His name is Chris, and he watches YouTube sometimes and TikTok sometimes. But he has been busy, and it's not his first trip to Ukraine, and he does a lot of volunteer work. He's a fantastic human, and so he has invited me to visit him in Kharkiv and do, some interviews and stuff like that. So I am hoping to do just that, and I'm hoping to do that sometime very soon. Okay, so I'm going to start with the news. I'm going to sort of blitz through them today because, again, there is so much that has happened, and I have not really been, I haven't been going live nearly as often, which I apologize, but this job, especially sort of like filming things and figuring things out and figuring out how to write lists of edits for like for the video editors, and sort of there's just been a lot happening, and it's been taking up a lot of my time. I've been working every day, and by the time I get home, the last thing I want is to stare at a screen and repeat the same and repeat the news again, but this will even out as well. Okay, so Russian soldier discards bodies of fallen comrades in Kherson direction. In the Kherson direction, a Russian soldier was seen throwing the bodies of 3 dead Russian infantrymen out of the back of a car while driving. The reason for this act is unclear, but it is speculated that he may have been afraid of being detected by Ukrainian reconnaissance drone and believed that discarding the bodies would allow the car to accelerate and evade. So this is what that looked like, which is kind of crazy. How do you just like dump out the bodies as you go? Like these were people but I mean, Russians do similar things all the time. So to be fair, I'm not really surprised, but it's still like a wild thing to see. Alexander Khizhniak wins a gold medal in boxing at the 2024 Olympics. He secured the gold medal for Ukraine in the boxing Olympiad, triumphing over Nurbek Aralbay of Kazakhstan by split decision in the final. This victory marks a significant achievement for the boxer and adds to Ukraine's accomplishments at the 2024 Olympics. So here's something that I haven't seen anyone talking about. Multiple commentators during the Olympics have stated that Ukraine has sent its smallest Olympic team yet, but no one has explained why. Russia has killed upwards of 488 Ukrainian athletes, both established and both established and promising. So a lot of our athletes are at the front. A lot of them have been killed, and a lot of them have to train in horrendous circumstances. A lot of them are injured. And by injured, I do not mean, from training. I mean injured as in like missing limbs due to airstrikes. So that's the reason why Ukraine's Olympic team is the smallest one since independence. And yet all of our athletes are performing incredibly. Jean Beleniuk recently got a bronze medal, and he retired from the sport after this bronze medal, and he had received it in the Greco-Roman wrestling category. Our gymnast Ilya Kovtun has gotten a gold medal on parallel bars. We know that our fencing team has been incredible. They got a gold medal as a team, and Olha Harlan has gotten a bronze. Then also our high jumpers, 2 of them, one got bronze and one got gold, which is incredible. There has been, our athletes have been showing incredible results, and that is really, really phenomenal given the circumstance. The UN reported torture of Ukrainian soldiers in Russian captivity. Daniel Bell, head of the UN Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine, stated that over 95% of Ukrainian soldiers experienced torture while in Russian captivity. Bell described the horrific treatment of prisoners endured during their initial interrogations, which included beatings with metal rods and sticks, being stripped, and severe electrocution. She noted that this is the worst treatment she has encountered in her 20-year career. Bell explained that the mission often gathers information about the conditions of Ukrainian prisoners of war from those who have been released. In contrast, the UN has direct access to Russian prisoners of war and their places of detention. Bell acknowledged that despite initial challenges, the Ukrainian authorities now provide access to POW camps and temporary prisons, and the conditions observed in the last year and a half comply with the norms of humanitarian law. In fact, their conditions are very, very good. And most Russians report that the conditions in Ukrainian prisons are actually better than in their homes. That speaks to the Russian homes, but also to how Ukraine is treating them. They're also allowed to contact their family multiple times a week for, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something like that, which is insane, provided that our prisoners of war get starved and tortured. Yeah. Also, I think I've missed something. Maybe like some comments, maybe not. But yeah, so there are a lot of cases of extreme and severe torture. No Ukrainian POWs come back unharmed. Ukraine has officially requested that the Mexican government arrest Russian President Vladimir Putin if he attends the inauguration of President Claudia Sheinbaum on October 1st. This request follows Mexico's tradition of inviting representatives from all countries with which it maintains diplomatic relations. However, the Embassy of Ukraine in Mexico emphasized the existence of an international criminal court warrant for Putin's arrest and urged Mexico to honor this legal obligation. I actually think that maybe under her government, they'll honor it. Russia has destroyed and damaged more than 3,000 educational institutions in Ukraine. That is actually genocide. The destruction of educational institutions is happening all over Ukraine, not just in the frontline regions. The German defense company Rheinmetall has indicated that it may deliver the first Lynx infantry fighting vehicle to Ukraine by the end of 2024. This information comes from a presentation by the company highlighting its activities for the first half of the year with a specific slide dedicated to its projects with Ukraine. This is going to be very, very insane and amazing because Lynx are very modern, and this is going to be a huge change for Ukraine's what are you guys talking about? Sorry, Grumpy, but you were distracting me. This is going to be a huge change for Ukraine, and Lynx are incredibly modern, and this is going to change a lot for Ukraine's offense capabilities. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba held discussions with his Norwegian counterpart Espen Barth Eide, focusing on expanding the coalition of countries providing F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Those are really, really helpful to Kharkiv's air defense. Incredibly helpful. Also, I mean, we have been waiting for F-16s for such a long time that it's now kind of like a trope that F-16s made it to Ukrainian airspace, but they help Kharkiv's air defense like there is no tomorrow. Also, for those of you who don't know, I urge you, when you were like, oh, Yulia is not going live, what is she doing? So I have a new show that I started with a Ukrainian channel that is it's not very well known at all because, well, that's why I'm there, because I want to help them grow and I want to help them strategize and sort of like better their outreach to Western audiences, English-speaking audiences. And so I started a new show, and it's basically the reiteration of the news brief. And I posted the episodes that have come out so far in my community tab on YouTube, and you can find them there. If you're on TikTok, please go look up the Gaze, Gaze media on YouTube, and you will find my episodes there. Starting next week, they're going to be coming out 3 times a week, I think Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And also we're going to have a weekly interview with an expert as well. The one that I recorded this Saturday was with a Dartmouth professor of political science, but they call it professor of government. And he was one of the signatories to the open letter that urged world leaders not to commit to accepting Ukraine into NATO just yet. Okay, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Syrsky, reported to President Zelensky 3 times a day, the president said in his evening address. According to President Zelensky, the reports are effective, exactly what our state needs now. I thought they're only operating in the West. No, why would they be operating in the West? Parviz Nasibov has secured another silver medal in Greco-Roman wrestling at the 2024 Olympics, narrowly losing in the final with a score of 5-6 to his Iranian opponent. This marks his second Olympic silver following his performance in Tokyo 2020. That's Jean Belenyuk. I've also told you about him a little while ago, and he has added another medal to his impressive Olympic career, securing the bronze in Greco-Roman wrestling at the 2024 Olympics. In a close match, he defeated his Polish opponent 3-1. This marks his third Olympic medal, following a silver in 2016 and a gold in 2020. So Jean Belenyuk is, I guess the correct word is African Ukrainian, and he was also a member of the Ukrainian parliament. So he's not just a brilliant athlete, he is also a politician. After the match, Jean Belenyuk symbolically removed his wrestling shoes, marking the end of his illustrious sports career. So that was him retiring with a bronze medal at the Olympics, which is incredible. Ukraine has signed a visa-free agreement with Mauritius aimed at fostering close economic ties and facilitating travel between the two countries. This agreement is expected to make it easier for Mauritian investors and businessmen to explore new opportunities in Ukraine. Did YouTube glitch, or is no one commenting? For the first time, Ukraine's state defense company, Ukrbоронпром, has been ranked among the top 50 global defense companies by the defense news portal, securing the 49th position. Alexander Kamyshin, the head of the Ministry of Strategy and Industry, highlighted that Ukrbоронпром is the fastest growing company among the world's top 100 defense companies. He expressed optimism that after Ukraine's victory in the war, the defense industry could become a key export sector for the country, driving significant economic growth. EU chief diplomat Joseph Borrell has condemned Alexander Lukashenko's regime for its involvement in the abduction and deportation of Ukrainian children during Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In a statement marking the 4th anniversary of the rigged elections and subsequent protests in Belarus, Borrell accused Lukashenko of providing political, military, and logistical support to Russia, thereby facilitating the illegal deportation of Ukrainian children from occupied territories. So, interestingly, I would like to say that, condemning and using strong language to say that you are unhappy doesn't work neither with Russia nor Belarus. And if you want to condemn Belarus helping to abduct Ukrainian children, that what you need to do is sanction them harder and continue sanctioning them out of the wazoo. And that is going to be a way better strategy in condemnation of their actions than using strong language and strongly disagreeing with them. The Kremlin-backed International Boxing Association is behind the Iman Khalif scandal. The IBA targeted the boxer in 2023 and made unsubstantiated accusations about her gender identity. If you don't know, Iman Khalif is a boxer from Iran, I believe, and she is a woman, a cisgender woman, biologically born as a woman. So there have been rumors that she's a man to disqualify her from winning and to push a Russian athlete forward instead. And the IBA is the International Boxing Association that has literally been chiefed by a Russian man. It's the most corrupt sporting body in the world. It literally used to be called something else before, and it was disbanded because of how corrupt it was, and it was under Russian control as well. And this is the association that within Russia's after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, it banned Ukrainian athletes from participating unless they use a neutral flag. Oh, Algeria, thank you. Sorry. I know a lot about the IBA situation, but I don't and I'm sorry, this is my fault. I don't know a lot about women's boxing. Also, give me 1 second. Sydney is doing something really weird. Cindy, hey. Hey. Go. Baba, go. No, do not do that. Don't do that. So yes. So hi Cyberdoc and hi Scooter. So oh hi Foodie. So yeah, so it's the most corrupt body in the sporting world. It's behind a lot of ridiculous decisions. They did not ban Russian athletes from competing after the full-scale invasion. They in fact tried to ban Ukrainian athletes and forbade them from competing unless they're using neutral flags. That was their response. So Iman's Iman's female identity was questioned by the IBA on the basis of gender tests it allegedly carried out. However, the organization refused to release any medical details to prove this. The IOC believes Russia has stirred up hostility around the Algerian athlete and is trying to interfere in the 2024 Olympics. So what they were trying to do is say that she was born a man, and that's why she has an advantage, and that's absolutely not true. And I'm going to play you a clip from United 24 that explains the situation.
Identity fakes about the Olympic finalist Imane Khalif. A scandal has erupted after the Algerian boxer won her match with an Italian opponent in just 46 seconds.
In red from Algeria.
In fact, the misinformation was rooted in 2023 after the IBA disqualified Imane from the championship for failing an undisclosed gender eligibility test. Even though the organization has never made public what these sex tests actually are, the IBA's head accused Khalif of having male chromosomes, giving no evidence to that.
We have analyses that show that it's a man. We received tests, and the second test confirmed it.
Coincidentally, the IBA's head is Putin's close ally and sports businessman Umar Kremlin. Coincidentally, the IBA is reported to be funded by Russian energy giant Gazprom. Coincidentally, the IBA is the only source of the allegations against Khalif. And finally, it came just after Khalif had defeated her Russian opponent, Azalia Amineva. The IBA was already kicked out of the Olympics due to corruption and bias allegations. This way, the Kremlin takes its revenge on the IOC and tries to undermine the Olympic standards.
How can somebody being born, raised, competed, and having a passport as a woman cannot be considered a woman?
Imane Khalif has neither cheated with testosterone doping, nor she is a transgender.
I am a female, and I will remain a female.
Also, the shitty thing about this is the reason why they think that they can question her gender identity is because Imane Khalif is a very masculine looking woman, right? And I mean, like, she has more traditionally masculine features, and she's also a boxer. She's quite tall, and it's really fucked up because what they're literally saying is you look like a dude, which is so fucked up, In the Lipetsk region of Russia, which foreigners or English speakers are calling the lipstick region because they can't pronounce it, so I'm sure you guys have seen that on the internet. But in the Lipetsk region of Russia, a military airfield caught fire following a drone attack, leading to significant damage and casualties. According to the regional government, the attack caused the detonation of explosive objects, damaged a power plant, and resulted in 6 injuries. The general staff confirmed the attack, reporting that warehouses containing guided aerial bombs and several other targets near the airport were successfully struck. Woohoo! But then something really, really awful happened as a retaliation to what Ukraine has been doing, namely breaking through the Russian border into Russia and occupying territory there. Which is funny because Russians are calling it barbaric and saying, what did we do to deserve this? And I'm just like, really? Really? Anyways, so Russians hit a busy supermarket in Konstantinivka. If you don't remember what happened in Kramatorsk a little over a year ago, oh hi Pamela, a little over a year ago, that's that's very similar, unfortunately. In Konstantinivka, a Russian attack on a hypermarket has resulted in at least 2 deaths and 17 injuries, according to the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, Igor Filashkin. The situation is still developing, and further updates are expected as more information becomes available. A Nova Poshta in Konstantinivka also came under attack. The company reported that while all employees survived, one of them suffered a concussion and is currently being taken to the hospital for medical treatment. A town just over called Saludova 2 days ago or 3 days ago was completely wiped from the face of the earth. And someone who is very important to me actually used to be stationed in that town and used to serve in that town. So I've sent them packages to Nova Poshta that has been destroyed in that town. President Zelensky has reported that the Russian attack on Konstantinivka has resulted in 4 killed and 24 injured as of 1:22 p.m. today. He mentioned that rescue operations are still ongoing, as there are people trapped under the rubble. Zelensky emphasized that Russia will be held accountable for this act of terror and pledged to ensure continued international support for Ukraine's defense and efforts to save lives. The Security Service of Ukraine, the SBU, successfully targeted and struck another Russian helicopter in Kursk region of the Russian Federation using an FPV drone. This information was provided by a source within the SBU to Ukrainska Pravda. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador rejected Ukraine's request to arrest Russian President Vladimir Putin if he were to attend the inauguration of Mexico's new president in October. Obrador stated, "We can't do it. It's not up to us," when asked about the possibility of executing an arrest warrant for Putin. This response comes despite Mexico being a country that officially recognizes the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court and ratified the Rome Statute in 2005. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to not abide by this warrant, and I'm pretty sure that it's not up to Obrador at that point, but it's up to the new president who is going to be inaugurated. So maybe he will refuse that, but she won't. Ukrainian athletes Lyudmila Luzan and Anastasia Rybachuk won silver in double canoeing at the Olympics. Ukrainian athletes have been on a roll. Also, here is something very interesting, very creepy, and very strange that happened to me that pertains to Konstantinivka, and I'm going to tell you about it in a second once I show my dog that I see exactly what she's doing and tell her to go to her bed. Cinny, give me 1 second, you guys. Where are you, dog? Okay, come here. Come here, dog. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Go. Thank you. Oi. Okay. So they could be baiting Putin. I don't think so. I don't think the current Mexican president is baiting Putin, to be honest. But so something really, really strange happened to me the other day, and it was very creepy. And I think when I'm back to Kyiv on Monday, I think I'm going to actually go and ask for security footage from the supermarket and send it to the SBU. Because here is what happened. I was with Cinny going to a supermarket, to Silpo, and it's at Gulliver. Gulliver is this huge mall in the center of Kyiv. And these 2 guys were standing outside, and one of them comes up to me and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is a French bulldog. It's my dream dog," whatever. He's speaking Russian. Some people do. But he's very visibly, he's had a couple of drinks, and he's not aggressive or anything. He's just kind of kind of floating in the air, whatever. And he's in that supermarket, your dog is not allowed to walk. It has to be either in your bag or you have to carry her. Now, Cinny is 13 kilograms, which is almost 20 pounds. I don't want to carry her. But I also don't want to interact with these guys, right? But they're like, "Oh, let me carry her wherever you need to go. I just really love French bulldogs, whatever, let me carry her." And I'm just kind of "Oh my God." But at the end of the day, I let this guy carry her downstairs for me because why not? Why not? I will just do that. So I end up like letting him carry her. He goes downstairs with us, and then he's like, "Oh, can we like hang out with you?" And I was like, "No, you can't. Sorry, I'm gonna go take a cab and go home. The supermarket didn't have what I was looking for." So he's like, "Oh, what if like you're outside and we go get our beer and you're still there? Then it's fate." And I'm like, "Dude, I made up a whole ass military husband that I have at home who is back home on rotation who would not be happy about it." Funnily enough, so like sometimes I wear rings here. And I have this ring, which is literally my dad's wedding ring melted into a ring, into a smaller ring. And I also have this like one ring that has like a tiny little stone here. So it kind of looks like I'm wearing a wedding and an engagement ring. So I was like, husband, whatever. So, but that's not the creepy part. So then he like asks me where I'm from. And I was like, "Oh, I'm from Lviv." And I'm like, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "Konstantinivka." And I'm like, "Oh, so you moved to Kyiv when the invasion started, right?" And he's like, "No, I still live in Konstantinivka." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, what are you doing here? How did you get out? And he's like, "Oh, we just drove through the lines and we came here because we were bored on a train from Kramatorsk." And I was like, you can't just like go in and out of a 0-line town. Like, what? So my guess is that they probably were paid off by Russians. And because half of Konstantinivka is occupied at this point. And my guess is they were probably paid off by Russians, and they were, because they're Ukrainian citizens, and they were probably sent on like a recon situation to Kyiv to like hang out, see what's going on, maybe like, maybe take pictures of places and like guide airstrikes or something like that. And at the end of the day, because it was like 10 p.m. or something, or 10:30, they went drinking, and that's when they like let out too much. Because this guy was saying some weird stuff, and I was just like, at that point, I got like really creeped out, and I sort of left. And then I was talking to someone that I know who's in the military and telling them that story. And he's like, "Yulia, that's really suspicious." And then there was this airstrike on Konstantinivka today. And so this guy said that they're here for a week. So how did they manage to get out of Konstantinivka specifically for a week? And during the time that they're not there, there is the largest airstrike on Konstantinivka that since like forever. Like a huge hit in the first time in months happens while they got out, right? So it's really suspicious to me. Like this particular thing solidified it. And I decided that I'm gonna go back to Gulliver and I'm gonna tell them when I was in that supermarket, and because they have security footage, and I know what time I was there, and I have like, in my like Uber, I can see when I ordered the cab, so I will know specifically when to look for, and I will ask them to like report those guys to the SBU so they could have their faces, because that seems very unreasonable to me, to be honest. It seems a little too suspicious to be just a coincidence. Also, hi, Drew. It's been very long. Yes, I turned 30 2 days ago, and I'm going to continue repeating it. It was my birthday, August 7th, and Vasily is fantastic. He's in New York. I'm in Kyiv. He is at home, at my home, and I'm in Kyiv. And tomorrow I'm celebrating my birthday with my mom's family and my dad's family, and it's the first time in like not 10 years or more that I'm able to celebrate my birthday with my family in person. And you know what's funny? Usually it's only Anastasia who can make it to my birthday, and she'll travel to New York and see me there. And this year it's only Anastasia who's away for my birthday, which I find so funny. Cinny, hey, dog, Cinny. Sorry. One sec. Suspicious troll's IP address can yield information. That's a very good idea, Sam. if you guys take screenshots of suspicious trolls and you put them in Discord, I will definitely send them over to someone who can probably acquire the IP address or ping the cell towers that the phones kind of ping. So, yes. Hopefully they don't delete the footage by the time it's requested by Ukrainian authorities. I'm pretty sure they keep the footage for like 6 months or something like that. Usually that's like the standard for most supermarkets everywhere. But I think they will send it over to the Ukrainian authorities, not vice versa. Because if I report, I think it's better if they report it, not me. So, yeah. But so, anyways, so what I was trying, he may be lying about it for clout. No, Carlos, he was drunk. He was like very drunk. And like they were definitely from there. It just seemed like, well, not very drunk, but it just seemed like he was just saying stuff that he didn't think would like ring suspicious to me because I'm just some random girl in a supermarket who, you know, like it's not like he knew I'm a reporter and work with the military, you know? He was actually kind of taken aback when I said that I'm like married to a military man. Anyways, so this is a good time to щось там без ВО, що якось не так пішло. Та що, Нова Курська область? But so yeah, this is a good time to remind you after I said it was my birthday, and not that I want to like, you know, not that I want to like kind of tie these two things, but I do a little bit. If you do have an ability to contribute to my channel by subscribing to the TikTok live feature or gifting subscriptions if you already are subscribed, or if you can subscribe to the YouTube channel membership or Patreon, or if you'd like to, you know, throw me a couple of dollars on PayPal for a birthday present, I would be super grateful, because this is how I make most of my income. I don't make money through TikTok videos, maybe 19 cents a video on average, and I don't make them through YouTube videos either. It's all through Patreon and subscriptions and things like that. Well, like the most impactful chunk of it, and it does help me pay bills, and it does help me, you know, be able to better my channel and my content and things like that. So I very, very, very highly appreciate it. And as you can see, and as you can tell, I'm really not good at this, and I really do not like advertising this feature. So yeah. Thank you, Anthony. But yes, so there is that. I get very uncomfortable when I have to say that, but I've been told so many times that I need to be saying that, otherwise, you know, thank you, Max. Otherwise, you know, I'm not going to be. Otherwise, no one's going to be subscribing, and I'm like, it's a very tough pill to swallow, because I'm like, I really don't like talking about this. Oh, thank you, Antelepes. It's not a fidget bracelet. No, it was actually gifted to me today by my dad's girlfriend, and it's very sweet. It's from a Ukrainian brand too. I think the theme of these presents is Ukrainian things and Ukrainian made things, and it's very sweet. Okay. According to the Washington Post, Ukraine has reportedly requested permission from the United States to use ATACMS missiles for attacks on Russian airfields. The report cites an anonymous advisor to President Zelensky who suggested that such a move could help Ukraine maintain control over areas in the Kursk region, providing leverage in negotiations with Russia. Thank you, Anthony. Earlier, Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh reiterated that the United States does not support strikes deep into Russia using American weapons. However, she acknowledged that the events in the Kursk region are crucial for Ukraine's effort to reclaim its sovereign territory and achieve battlefield success. I think they're going to give us permission. They're just not going to advertise it, the same as we've had happen before. A traditional lucky charm to protect from evil. Yeah, it actually comes with, like, thank you, Richard. It comes with a bunch of different colored strings, actually, so they're interchangeable. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for your contribution to PayPal. I really appreciate it. The death toll in Konstantinivka has risen to 10, with 35 people injured. according to Interior Minister Klimenko. The rescue operation is ongoing, and residential buildings, shops, and more than a dozen cars have been damaged. And that's as of 4:59 p.m. Netlin says, check Venmo. I will do, but also thank you so very much for your contribution, whatever it is. It might not load right now because my Wi-Fi or lack thereof here is a little bad. But thank you very, very, very much. I really, really appreciate it. I'm also going to check Revolut. Maybe I missed someone. Nope, doesn't seem like it. I just, I want to thank people in real time. So yeah, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense has ordered 8 advanced surgical brigade stations from the German company Rheinmetall for its armed forces. Thank you. Rheinmetall medical vehicles are highly mobile, very fast in operation, and meet the highest quality standards. This recent order underscores the success of our initial medical equipment deliveries to Ukraine, said Rheinmetall CEO Armin Paperger. Dutch Defense Minister Ruben Brekelmans stated that the Russian army's strike on a supermarket in Konstantinivka serves as yet another reminder of why allies must continue to support Ukraine. Thank you for the heart. And there is actually a United 24 media video that explains to the tune to which we know what's happening in Kursk. And I'm going to play it before we end the live. But before that, I'm going to give you the rest of the news. Will Ukraine implement Kursk into their country? No, we're going to use that for negotiations with Russia. 1 second. Sinona, please go on the couch and stop doing what you're doing. You're hurting yourself, and I don't like that. Okay. 1 second. The Russian economy, currently booming due to large military orders, may soon face a significant recession. This downturn isn't tied to a single cause, but stems from systemic issues that have worsened due to the overheating of the economy driven by government spending and the military-industrial complex, according to Bloomberg. Labor sources are nearly depleted, with intense competition between the military and civilian sectors for skilled workers. It's becoming increasingly difficult to find qualified employees or military personnel, even with substantial benefits and comfortable working conditions. Also, a lot of their men are dead. The construction and banking sectors, once key growth drivers, are also slowing down. High interest rates are halting most mortgage programs, which were heavily funded by the government. Last month, the government nearly stopped its mortgage subsidies, with no signs of resuming them. Despite these challenges, experts predict that the gross domestic product will grow by 4% annually in the second quarter. However, there is no official forecast for future GDP growth, likely because even government analysts anticipate significant economic problems. Economists expect the Russian economy to slow, with GDP growth potentially dropping to 2%, and in the coming years it could fall further to just 0.5%. Also, thank you, Richard, for the PayPal contribution. I really, really appreciate that. Genuinely, it's very sweet, and I just want to thank everyone who does. Elvira Nabiulina, head of the National Bank of Russia, noted that the economy's overheating is the worst since the 2008 financial crisis. She believes that labor force and production capacity reserves are nearly exhausted, casting serious doubt on continued economic growth. Thank you. Thank you for the donut, and thank you for the heart, Grumpy. So interestingly, this is what I was saying, that it's hard to find skilled workers, and there are less and less people that are willing to work, right? So Russia famously was a hub for, I guess, like low-skill workers from a lot of countries like Tajikistan, like sometimes, well, Azerbaijan as well. But I'm not saying that Azerbaijan is like a country that isn't doing well. I'm saying that that there are a lot of people that are very poor and a lot of people that are very rich, and that gap is huge. So there were lots of taxi drivers that were coming to work in Russia. I've noticed in the past, I want to say 2 to 3 months, that there are tons of taxi drivers that have Tajik names. And every single time that I would see a name that sounds Muslim to me, I would ask them where they're from because I was curious. And most of these guys have been saying that they're from Tajikistan. And actually, every single one of them, by the time I meet them and take an Uber with them, has been in country for about 8 to 10 days so far. And so I asked them why they moved here and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, to make money. And I asked them if their families moved with them. And they're like, no, not yet. So famously, what used to happen is they would come to Russia and work. Tajik people would come to Russia and work construction jobs or work taxi or work like delivery services or something like that. So low skilled labor is what it's called. Now they're going to Ukraine and Kazakhstan. And the reason why that's happening is because, first of all, if you make money in rubles, you can't send it back home and trade it. So it's no longer profitable. And if you can, the exchange rate is really bad. So it's no longer profitable for them to go to Moscow. So now there are full agencies that instead of sending them to Russia, send them to Ukraine and send them to Kazakhstan. And they're making money in Ukraine and Kazakhstan now by with the same jobs that they used to come to Moscow for. So now they make money in hryvnias and send it back home to their families, and then they move their families to, well, now Kyiv and Almaty. Interestingly, so because they exist in a Russian media space, all of them are so confused as to how beautiful Kyiv is. Every single one of them that I've talked to was like, oh my God, like, I love it here. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful country. I had no idea. Yeah, I know you had no idea because you watch Russian news. And your country is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly influenced by Russia. So yes, you thought it was a third world shithole here. I get it. No, it's not. But anyways, yeah, all of them really like Kyiv. And you know what's really funny? So apparently in Tajikistan, you're only allowed to have white cars. And that's a random TikTok that I saw, so don't quote me on it, because it was like an American who travels around the world and tells you like all of these like weird local things. So apparently in Tajikistan, everyone has to have a white car, and they don't allow cars that are any other colors. And Turkmenistan, I guess, yeah. So most of the drivers from Tajikistan here that I've had pick me up, one had like a bright orange Toyota, and the other one had a like this color blue Toyota, and the other one had like a neon yellow Fiat. And at that point, I was like, I mean, interesting choices. Maybe that's just the cars, because like most people who work in taxi services here will lease a car, right? And so you will lease whatever is available in a salon because it's easier. Like you already have a vehicle to drive, and you can make money with the vehicle and pay it off as you go, right? So I thought maybe that's just what they had in a salon, and then I saw a video about them being able to only have white cars. I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense now. Because it's like they're in a country where they can have a vehicle that's any color. So I think they're just like, yes, bright orange Toyota it is. Which I thought it was like so funny. And I mean, it's like funny because it's it's like such a cultural difference, right? Because it's like something so new. But yeah, so that's another so Tajik people coming to work here in Kyiv instead of working in Russia is actually a huge indicator of Russian economy not doing well. It's not Kiev, it's Kyiv. Kiev doesn't exist. Ukrainian wrestler Irina Koladenko reached the finals of the 2024 Olympics in freestyle wrestling. She will compete for gold. The latest Su-57 fighter jets were stationed at the Russian Aerospace Forces Air Base in Lipetsk, where long-range drones launched a successful nighttime attack, according to Defense Express. That's the air base that the U.S. refused to let us strike with ATACMS, and that air base has had upwards of 20 aircraft there. And those 20 plus aircraft, can each carry 6 missiles. So the U.S. refused to let us strike it with ATACMS. Anyways, that's how we missed out on an opportunity to take out upwards of 20 Russian aircraft that shoot up children's hospitals, for instance. But anyways, so that's the airbase. The airbase, located 280 kilometers from Ukraine's border, was targeted by a large-scale raid involving several dozen UAVs. The drones managed to penetrate Russian air defenses, delivering a significant blow to an aviation ammunition warehouse. Local authorities announced the evacuation of several villages due to the detonation of explosive materials. The scale of the explosion was so large that NASA's satellite monitoring of fires captured it. Interestingly, the Lipetsk Air Base also serves as a training center for pilots on the new 5th-generation Su-57 aircraft. However, it's unclear whether these aircraft were present during the attack or if they sustained any damage. If they were hit, this would mark the second such incident following an earlier attack on the Akhtubinsk airfield. And that is a very positive note on which I will have to announce that that's all information I have for you for today. It is also 2:36 a.m. and by far probably the latest I've gone to bed in a very long time. So I do need to go change and go to bed. I also just realized that I forgot my pajamas back in what's his face, back at home in Kyiv, which is not great. And I'm going to have to text Anastasia and ask her if I can borrow like pajama shorts from her. I also do need to go make the bed because it does not have any bedding on it. So I will be seeing you guys tomorrow, most likely. And again, if you would like to contribute to my work by subscribing to YouTube, Patreon, or TikTok live feature, I will be incredibly grateful. You can find all of the links and also my PayPal, Venmo, and Revolut in my link in bio, both on YouTube and TikTok. And I will be eternally grateful for your support and contributions. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. And thank you so very much for watching. Bye.